love it. I was born here, I live here, and downright refuse to die anywhere else. What the?
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. Cyberpunk 2077 next gen version is finally here. Some people just won't care about this whatsoever because, yeah, it's been around for a while now and people made their peace with Cyberpunk. Whether they love it or hate it, I guess most people have moved on. But with that being said, it's still pretty cool that CD Projekt Red have given us the chance to play their RPG on the next gen, or current gen, as it's now known, technology. I will be checking this out on the Series X at some point, guys, but over at the brilliant Eurogamer website, I'll quote this article. Really cool site. I'll put the link to this article in the description if you want to read it for yourselves. I'll just skim past this, guys, but it does start by saying Cyberpunk's long-awaited versions of the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S finally launch today. It also goes on to say a 5-hour demo is available until 15th of March, so you can now see how the game runs on your console before committing to a purchase. That's pretty cool. CD Projekt Red really are pulling out all the stops here, guys, to make this game better. I was going to say obsessed. Obsessed is a very strong word, but I was so eager to see how this game turned out. I actually enjoyed it, but I was playing on Series X, and I've said this before, I know a lot of people with the last gen version of Cyberpunk, PS4 and Xbox One, did run into some issues. The article goes on to say, and I quote, "With the update, Cyberpunk 2077 takes advantage of the additional power of the newest generation of console hardware, allowing for ray tracing features and 4K with dynamic scaling, faster loading times, and a variety of other visual and technical improvements, as well as utilizing the DualSense's controller's adaptive triggers and haptic feedback functionalities." That's actually a quote, guys, from CD Projekt Red. Today's demo offered a look at Cyberpunk 2077 running on a PS5, Series X, Series S, and detailed the game's 1.5 patch, which will be available on all platforms. I have read, guys, somewhere today, not at Eurogamer, but somewhere else, that the patch is 59 gig or something like that, which is huge. But well worth checking out, guys. The article goes on to say stuff like motorbikes now have neon rims, crowds and traffic will now react to you if you become aggressive. There's been loads of stuff added and made better, basically, guys. You can customize V now if you're like halfway through the game or at any point, I guess. Which you couldn't really do before. You can customize V's apartment. It all sounds very, very cool. I might go back to this at some point and check out the features, as you can see there, on next gen. So we've got, this is across the board. So all of these boxes are checked. So you've got new weapons across the board. Additional apartments for V, again, this is on all consoles, last gen included. Hairdressing mirror, rebalance of gameplay, economy, and loot systems. But then it goes on to say, or rather it goes on to tell us what is available on the current gen, the new console. So you've got ray-traced local shadows, various visual quality improvements. You got the other stuff that I've already talked about, guys, like improved crowd reactions, and obviously the DualSense controller features, which only applies to the PS5. So, all positive stuff, guys. And like I said earlier, whether or not you love or hate the game, all of this was much needed. The game is over a year old now, so the cynical people out there will be like, yeah, this should have been available around launch or shortly after launch at least, and I would agree with that. When you're charging £60 for a game, or £50 is what I think I paid for Cyberpunk. But what about multiplayer? Because multiplayer is something I was really interested in trying on Cyberpunk. The most recent thing I can find is this at Tech Radar December of last year, so a couple of months ago now. Cyberpunk 2077's multiplayer game has been cancelled, and that could be a very good thing. Now, before I read this article, or I pick parts from this article, this is the only piece I can find at the moment when searching for Cyberpunk's multiplayer. It's the only source that categorically says it's been cancelled. There's other sites that say it might be cancelled or it's very unlikely to arrive, but this is the only place that categorically says it's been cancelled, guys. So let me know in the comments if you've read that this is 100% officially cancelled anywhere else. Have CD Projekt Red actually stated that? But anyway, it says, it looks like the runners of Night City won't be able to team up after all, as Cyberpunk's multiplayer follow-up has been cancelled following a strategy update in which President and CEO stated the plans for the game have been reconsidered. So I guess, guys, this is straight from the horse's mouth if it's saying the CEO of CD Projekt. In the strategy update video released on CD Projekt's YouTube channel, the CEO said, "Previously, we hinted that our next AAA would be a multiplayer Cyberpunk game, but we have decided to reconsider this now." So there we go, guys. Actually, that is official. That's official news. If that's coming from the CEO, this kind of passed me by in December. I can't remember this being a thing. But yeah, it looks like multiplayer is just not going to happen. If the CEO's come out and said that, they're obviously just focusing on single player. Although it does say here, we don't know exactly what Cyberpunk's online functions will now end up being. Data miners have previously unearthed code alluding to deathmatch and heist modes. You see, guys, on Reddit, I have seen some people who have hacked the files of the game on the PC version, and there's stuff there that's suggesting there will be online elements of this. But we do have to remember, online aspects of a game these days can be anything. It doesn't necessarily mean meeting up with other players and co-op or death matches. It can be, like it actually says here, guys, look, it can be similar to Death Stranding's online functionality, or even Dark Souls series' sporadic invasion system, where players could warp into another's world to potentially ruin their day. So yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, guys. I play a lot of the Dark Souls and Bloodborne games, as you know. I talk about it on the channel quite a lot. And that would be a pretty cool system in Cyberpunk, if you can kind of just jump into someone else's world and invade them and loot their stuff or whatever. That would be pretty cool function to add. But that is all we have on the multiplayer front when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077. If you own a PS5 or a Series X or a Series S and you haven't played Cyberpunk before, guys, now is the time to jump in. I have heard that it's pretty cheap at the moment at some places. Give it a try, because I loved it. I completed the story campaign around launch. It took me about 2 weeks to finish. I was planning on jumping back in on next gen or current. I gotta stop saying next gen, current gen. Around this time when the new stuff or the new update, the major update went live, as it is now. So I'm interested, guys, in trying this out again. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this in a video today, guys, and get it out there. Let me know in the comments if you're going to be jumping back into Cyberpunk. Maybe you've never left. Maybe you're still playing. And let me know how you think this performs now on the new consoles. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Look out for more content coming to the channel very soon. And have an awesome morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on what time you are watching or listening to this video. Take care.